But before we get to that, Lana, this is this is stuff we have to. I mean, just as somebody, you and I that do a political show, I will tell you it's a subject that is not on the top of my radar, even though it's really in the top of the news. Is what's going on in Israel and Palestine, with Israel and Palestine. And when I say that, I want to make it clear that it's not that I don't care about the people and the awful things that are happening there and the innocent people getting murdered. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, obviously, as a human being, I have human emotions and feelings towards those people. But there was some news today that President Biden and Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke on the phone for 30 minutes Monday, discussing hostage deal negotiations and Israel's preparations for a ground invasion of Rafah. U.S. and Israel officials said Biden is seeking to salvage the long-stalled Israel-Hamas hostage deal and avoid a massive Israeli military operation in Rafah, where more than 1 million Palestinians are taking shelter. Ahead of a possible ground invasion, Israel on Monday started to evacuate Palestinian civilians from the eastern parts of Rafah, close to the Israel border, the Israel Defense Forces said. And the decision to begin evacuating Palestinian civilians was taken after talks between the Hamas delegation and Egyptian and Qatari mediators in Cairo ended with no breakthrough. So there may be some light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, I don't know that this ends everything. I think, from my understanding, that there should be some sort of ceasefire coming up for a period of time. I don't know what they do in that period of time. Hopefully they settle the whole thing. But I ask you, have you followed much of this? I mean, I know it's in the news and there's things to know about it, but is there anything else that you followed about this that maybe I should know that I don't?
Well, that Hamas had agreed to a ceasefire, but it's not the ceasefire that the Israelis said.
I have this. Hamas announced it accepts the Egyptian Qatari proposal for a hostage deal and a ceasefire in Gaza, the group said in a statement.
Right.
So that is something. And the CIA director, Bill Burns, he was part of the U.S. effort to secure the hostage deal. So it looks like they're working. But again, the dynamics of everything, I don't know.
It's interesting, too, because, well, you just don't know because we're here. But didn't the other day Israel say that Hamas had fired on them while they were negotiating? Like they're trying to negotiate. And then I thought they said that Hamas had fired on, I think it was just yesterday, on some Israeli
I think that I have not heard that, but Lana, there's one of two things that, it could be that it actually happened and there's got to be something that they have to consider. Or, what they do is they make up some news so they can continue these attacks and still get the sympathy from the people.
Absolutely.
And there is I don't want to say consensus, but there are some thoughts that maybe Benjamin Netanyahu is not a big Joe Biden fan, and any of this continued conflict helps Donald Trump. And if there's anybody out there who doesn't think that that is anywhere in play, I think you're being naive.
Right.
But again, it's an awful thing. And now, again, it's extended over here to the United States, which is understandable because we have many people of the Jewish community and the Palestinian community, Muslims, that it affects over here. But, again, now we're going into the territory of the student protest, which, I mean, I've always been a fan of protest. This one's losing me, though. I'm not really sure what the whole premise and point of it is. I'm not sure they are. I ask you again, Lana, are you following this? And is there anything I should know that I'm not?
No, it's a lot. It's a lot. But I mean, I just always go back because these are colleges. So I really don't understand why, because we knew the protests were coming with the students. We knew that they were unhappy. This has just been it's been slow rolling. So it just seems like it was something that they could have prevented, like, of course they can protest, but you would have thought that they would have had assemblies or
Right.
something
Yeah.
to talk to all of the students and like maybe give them a quick history lesson, all of them,
Hmm.
on, you know what I mean, on what's been going on for years between you know, Israel, Hamas, Palestine, like all of this. I don't understand why that just didn't happen. That confuses me. Biden also stopped the shipment of offensive weapons to Israel.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. There's a hold there. So progress being made there now. Of course, there's going to be a lot of people out there saying too little, too late. There's whatever. But
But
I don't know. I
he's literally been building a friggin' dock so that they can get food to
yeah.
them, like building a dock since what, 2-3 weeks they putting that dock up. I think it's almost finished.
Yeah. Yeah, again, it's not in my wheelhouse. Again, it is something that I take serious from a humanitarian standpoint. Outside of that, again, I made the point a few weeks ago that, the one thing that drives me nuts about any of this stuff is this is being fought over, religious sort of things that I don't subscribe to. I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in, all that stuff. And now our lives are being affected by something that, again, I find crazy and ridiculous, and it just, I don't know. And, you hear people all the time, they're like talking hateful things about Jewish people, hateful things about Muslim people. I mean, hell, even black people, gay people, that, most people who don't like these people or they're angry at these people, a lot of it is due to ignorance because people just don't know and they just don't understand. They don't know why they're saying it. They just know it, and it's real pure ignorance. I feel I've got like reverse ignorance, and it's kind of like I'm happy I don't understand why I need to hate Jewish people. I'm happy I don't understand why I need to hate Muslims, black people, gay people, immigrants. I'm happy I don't understand why I need to hate these people while so many other people do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do I don't get it. I don't understand it. Even if he explained it to me, I still be like, fuck, I don't know. You got me.
Right. 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 Like you'd still be like, but why do you hate them though?
Yeah.
Because you don't know them. So why do you hate something you don't know? It's just really stupid.
And you know what? Partially, maybe even half, maybe even more than half. It's because of some crazy religious views. And again, that's why I don't
Yeah.
get it. I don't get it. So, but we were talking about the students. There was this one clip of this young lady. I know she was trying very hard, I'm sure, but she was holding a press conference as to, her involvement in the first of all, holding this press conference. There was a couple of reporters asking her some questions. She had a hard time answering some of them. And again, this is when I see this stuff. I'm like, listen, if you're going to protest, let's be prepared and let's understand and let's get, but this young lady kind of lost me here when she was asked a few questions. This is a Columbia student who broke in. I guess there was a bunch of students who broke into this hall and they took it over. And this is her, I guess, press conference about it.
The university be obligated to provide food to people who've taken over a building?
Well, first of all, we're saying that they're obligated to provide food to students who pay for a meal plan here.
But you mentioned that there was a request that food and water be brought in, unless I misunderstood.
To allow it to be brought in. I mean, well, I guess it's ultimately a question of what kind of community and obligation Columbia feels it has to its students. Do you want students to die of dehydration and starvation or get severely ill, even if they disagree with you? If the answer is no, then you should allow basic, I mean, it's crazy to say because we're on an Ivy League campus, but this is like basic humanitarian aid we're asking for. Like, could people please have a glass of water?
But they did put themselves in that very deliberately, in that situation and in that position. So it seems like you're sort of saying, we want to be revolutionaries, we want to take over this building, Please bring us food, water.
Nobody's asking them to bring anything. We're asking them to not violently stop us from bringing in basic humanitarian aid.
They're stopping the delivery of food.
We are looking for a commitment from them that they will not stop it
But
violently.
they haven't stopped it yet.
Well, I don't know to what extent it has been attempted, but we're looking for a commitment.
Yeah. Okay. So she's looking for a commitment that they won't violently stop. First of all, I find it offensive that she's using the term humanitarian aid. I mean, because the people that she is trying to defend need actual humanitarian aid. So, I mean, it's a little bit off and a little bit crazy that she would be using that term. You froze up on me, Lana. Are you there? Uh-oh. I think this is our first show where we've had technical difficulties.
Aren't you a revolutionary? It's like, how's a revolution?
Can you hear me?
Like, we're holed up at Columbia.
Can you hear me, Lana?
Yeah.
Okay, because you froze up on me for a while.
Well, you were freezing too. Like I kept saying, you went black, and then it started spinning.
Uh-oh, somebody is sabotaging our show.
Space lasers.
And that's what we did it on Monday night, so we can maybe sneak this one in so we couldn't get sabotaged and they're finding us anyway. Yeah, the space lasers.
Yeah, I was just saying she was asking for a Starbucks while she was
right. Yeah.
Like
basically, she's like, we're just gonna make sure that nobody is going to stop our basic humanitarian aid and needs. And it's just like, lady, what are you talking about? You just made yourself look ridiculous. And these are people who go to Columbia. They're supposed to be smarter than all of us.
Yeah, but they're also supposed to follow what's going on, right? Like,
yeah,
you protest, but you also need to actually follow what steps are being taken, where we're at now in this process. Like, I don't understand it. I don't.
Yeah, I know this is something that's difficult to understand. And it is my hope, not just for this country. I mean, obviously more for Israel and Palestine, that this is all wrapped up soon. I mean,
for sure.
I think we know Israel and Palestine overall, that's not going to be wrapped up probably for the rest of our lives, because I mean, it's just going on forever. But, just in the climate today. And and I will say it for our country, that it is settled down and we're able to move forward and maybe focus more on things that are going on here, rather than just over there.
Because
hey, DA is back joining us. Dummy became president of the United States. You are not kidding. So I would imagine, and believe it or not, that girl, that girl 100% is smarter than Donald Trump. There's absolutely no question in my mind. And she sounded like an idiot.